Lunch. What are you doing stocking shelves on a Friday night? I'm burning off surplus sexual energy. Why don't we just plug you into the toaster and make breakfast? Remember when 4 women, 1 kitchen, and an unlimited supply of cheesecake somehow became one of the sharpest, funniest sitcoms of the 1980s? That show was The Golden Girls. When it premiered on NBC in 1985, it shattered expectations by proving that 4 women over 50 could dominate primetime television. Over 7 seasons and 180 episodes, B.E.A. Arthur, Betty White, Rue McClanahan, and Estelle Getty transformed a Miami home into the most entertaining shared house on TV, and audiences couldn't get enough. But behind the laughs, the iconic theme song, and the late-night cheesecake therapy sessions, there's a long list of stories most fans never heard, including the time a future Oscar-winning filmmaker quietly appeared dressed as Elvis. Before we dive in, hit subscribe, drop a like, and show some love, because we are counting down 15 weird and wonderful facts about the Golden Girls. Let's get started with number 15. Number 15. Blanche's accent wasn't always the plan. Rue McClanahan's signature Southern drawl didn't come easily, or automatically. When Rue first read for Blanche Devereaux, the script described her as extremely Southern, even more so than Blanche Dubois from A Streetcar Named Desire. But during the pilot, director Jay Sandrich told Rue to drop the accent entirely and speak in her natural Oklahoma voice. Rue wasn't convinced, but she followed directions. Once the show was picked up, she asked the producers whether she should continue without the accent. Their response was immediate. Absolutely not. They wanted exactly what she had done in the audition. So Rue went all in. She modeled Blanche's voice after her cousin Pearl, a woman from southern Oklahoma who invented a refined, ladle-like accent because she disliked her natural speaking voice. It was part Southern belle, part theatrical fantasy, and completely irresistible. That voice, rich with charm, confidence, and self-delusion, turned Blanche into a cultural icon. Without it, Blanche might have blended in. With it, she became a fearless, flirtatious symbol of confidence long before sex positivity had a name. Number 14. Estelle Getty was younger than her TV daughter. Here's a Hollywood fact that still confuses people. Estelle Getty, who played Sophia Petrillo, was actually younger than B.E.A. Arthur, who played her daughter Dorothy. Sophia was written as an elderly woman in her 80s, but Estelle Getty was only about 62 when the show began, while B.E.A. Arthur was 63. To sell the illusion, the makeup team spent nearly an hour every day aging Getty with wigs, prosthetics, and heavy makeup. It worked so well that most viewers never questioned it. Then Getty complicated things by getting a facelift between Season 1 and Season 2. Suddenly, the makeup team had to work even harder to make her look older again. Getty later joked that she spent more time in the makeup chair than anyone else on set, all to look older than her own TV daughter. Number 13. The theme song wasn't written for the show. Thank You for Being a Friend feels inseparable from the Golden Girls, but it wasn't created for the show. The song was written and recorded by Andrew Gold in 1978, reaching number 25 on the Billboard Hot 100 number 11 on the Cashbox chart. For the series, it was re-recorded by Cynthia Fee, whose warm, soulful version became one of the most recognizable TV themes of all time. Gold later earned multiple BMI TV Music Awards thanks to the song's continued use. The series itself won 11 Primetime Emmy Awards, 4 Golden Globes, and a permanent place in television history. The theme became an anthem for chosen families, unlikely friendships, and anyone who's ever leaned on the people they love to get through life. Number 12. The cast already had history. One reason the chemistry worked instantly? The cast already knew each other. B.E.A. Arthur and Rue McClanahan had spent 6 seasons together on Maude from 1972 to 1978, playing close friends with perfectly balanced personalities. Rue and Betty White had also worked together on Mama's Family in the early 1980s, though in very different roles. By the time The Golden Girls debuted in 1985, these women weren't strangers. They already understood each other's rhythm, timing, and comedic instincts. NBC didn't just cast a sitcom, they reunited a comedy ensemble that had been years in the making. Number 11. Betty White and Rue McClanahan almost played the opposite roles. Originally, Betty White was cast as Blanche, while Rue McClanahan was cast as Rose. On paper, it made sense. Betty had years of experience playing flirtatious characters, and Rue had mastered the role of the warm, loyal best friend. But both actresses pushed back. They didn't want to repeat themselves. Director Jay Sandrich suggested switching roles, and the moment they tried it, everything clicked. Betty became the innocent, St. Olaf-obsessed Rose, while Rue unleashed Blanche's southern sass. That decision didn't just improve the show, it defined it. Number 10. The show started as a parody. Depending on who you ask, The Golden Girls began either as a heartfelt idea or a complete accident. One version credits NBC president Brandon Tartikoff, inspired by watching his elderly relatives bicker. The other, more entertaining story begins in 1984, during an NBC fall preview special. Actresses Selma Diamond and Doris Roberts performed a sketch mishearing Miami Vice as Miami Nice, joking about older women living in Florida. NBC executive Warren Littlefield saw the sketch and realized it wasn't just funny, it was a show. Producers brought in Susan Harris, who developed the concept into a full sitcom. A throwaway parody became a television phenomenon. Number 9. The Golden Girl Who Vanished After One Episode. In the pilot, the women had a fourth roommate, Coco, a gay live-in cook played by Charles Levin. Then he disappeared. Sophia Petrillo was originally meant to appear only occasionally, but Estelle Getty's performance was so strong that she was promoted to a full-time cast member. Someone had to go. The choice was simple. Sophia stayed. Coco didn't. The role vanished without explanation, making Coco one of the shortest-lived characters in sitcom history. Number 8. B.E.A. Arthur chose to end the show. The Golden Girls didn't end because of ratings. It ended because B.E.A. Arthur wanted to leave after 7 seasons. She preferred ending strong rather than watching the show decline. Without Dorothy, the core chemistry couldn't survive. NBC attempted a continuation with the Golden Palace, but audiences immediately felt Arthur's absence. Her decision preserved the show's legacy, 7 consistent seasons with no decline. Number 7. The kitchen was recycled. That legendary kitchen wasn't built for the Golden Girls. It originally belonged to a failed sitcom called It Takes Two, which ended in 1982. 3 years later, the set was repainted and repurposed. That hammer-down kitchen became the emotional center of the show, where laughs, arguments, and life-changing conversations happened nightly over cheesecake. Number 6. Dorothy's marriage timeline makes no sense. Dorothy frequently says she was married to Stan for 38 years. But her children appear to be in their 20s or early 30s, making the math impossible. Fans have tried to fix the timeline for decades, but the truth is simple. The writers prioritized jokes over continuity. Number 5. Rue McClanahan kept Blanche's wardrobe. Blanche's wardrobe was legendary, and Rue loved it. She negotiated a clause allowing her to keep many of the costumes after the show ended. After her death in 2010, those outfits were auctioned, with fans paying thousands for sequins, leopard prints, and silk robes. Blanche's clothes weren't just costumes, they were television history. Number 4. The Golden Girls created a TV universe. The show spawned The Golden Palace, Empty Nest, and Nurses, all set in the same Miami universe. NBC even staged crossover events like Hurricane Saturday, connecting all 3 shows in one night. For a time, NBC's Saturday lineup was a shared sitcom world. Number 3. B.E.A. Arthur hated cheesecake. On screen, cheesecake was essential. Off-screen, B.E.A. Arthur couldn't stand it. According to the show's baker, she took a real bite only once in 7 seasons, usually just pushing the dessert around her plate while filming. That's dedication. Number 2. A Golden Girls cameo helped fund Reservoir Dogs. The show launched more than acting careers. In 1988, a young Quentin Tarantino appeared as an Elvis impersonator during Sophia's wedding. He later admitted the residual checks helped support him while writing Reservoir Dogs. Yes, the Golden Girls helped fund modern indie cinema. Number 1. B.E.A. Arthur and Betty White were not close. On screen, Dorothy and Rose were perfect. Off screen, they weren't friends. Betty White later admitted B.E.A. Arthur didn't particularly like her. Their acting backgrounds were very different, and B.E.A. disliked Betty chatting with the audience between takes. But they respected each other professionally, and it showed. Sometimes great chemistry doesn't come from friendship. It comes from commitment.